Welcome to the Movie Cheer Podcast, the show for movie fans. I am your host, AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer, and on today's episode of the Movie Cheer Pod, I will be discussing the MCU Phase 5 announcements of the lineup and be deep diving into it to discuss whether it will be the best era of Marvel yet. It's going to be a juicy topic today of the headline topic. But before I get into that headline topic for today's show, before I start any show of the Movie Cheer Pod, we start off with a section called Not So Worthy Blockbuster Housekeeping. That is right. This is the part of the show where I ease into the rest of the show and just general chit-chat, talk about what's going on with the channel, what's going on with the Movie Cheer Town community, a little bit of a chit-chat, easing us in to the rest of today's show. So, bit of not so worthy blockbuster housekeeping. I've got a big list today, so I'm going to try and get through it as quick as possible so we can get to that headline topic. But yeah, first time back in about a month for the Movie Cheer podcast. I did a live stream the other day on the channel, but just doing the actual podcast, it is the first time back, and it is good to be back doing the podcast. I'll be honest, it was a pre-planned 3-week break that became a 4-week break because I had to take a week off early because I wasn't feeling great. But I'm 100% now ready, and I'm really glad to be back here discussing movies with everyone in the Movie Cheer Town community. I just want to say, before I went away, we did the pay-per-view show on the channel, Heatwave at the cinema, with Shaun, Media Collector Madness, and Ben, Rider Rated 18. Really fun live stream of the podcast. I really enjoyed that. Having 3 people on the show, myself and Shaun and Ben, was fantastic. Both of them were superb, and honestly, both top guys. I'm going to link in both of their channels below. If you've not checked out that episode, do check it out because it was a really fun show, and I'm hopefully we'll get Ben and Shaun on one of the live shows again ASAP, because I like both of those guys. I think they're both really sound dudes, and I just really enjoy chatting movies with both of those guys. So check out both of their channels in the links below. And Heatwave at the cinema was a success. I think it was a really fun show to take part in. Latest video on the channel this past week, the new episode of the World Movie League debuted. Episode 5, and wow, that was a fun episode to do. Incredible Hulk versus the Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man versus the Avengers, and I filmed a few little sketches in between it, so it features me as Commissioner AP, Buck Sculdone, the World Movie League representative, and a new member of the World Movie League, a dark, looming threat, the Mouse Lord. This is a character that I took from like a little short episode I did years ago called In Another Universe, when it was a video show on the channel rather than the podcast version on Patreon. The Mouse Lord was this character in this evil Disney empire. I think the video's still on the channel, so check it out. But I decided to bring this character into the World Movie League universe. Check out that video. I put it on Instagram as well if you just want to check out that clip that I'm referencing with the Mouse Lord character. It was just fun, something fun to do. Anyway, latest blog post. This week, the blog has started up again. As I said, I took a bit of a break. So I took a break from the blog as well this time around, which was, it was nice to just take a break from everything, really, to be honest with you. But I'm glad to be back doing the blog as well now. So there was a review of The Grey Man, the new Russo Brothers movie, up this week on the blog, which was really fun to watch and fun to write about. So I really enjoyed doing that. Another bit of not so worthy blockbuster housekeeping this week. Wow, it's. I mean, we're getting near to the end of the list now, but this Wednesday just gone, I was on Pete PlaytendoGuy's live stream, Wednesday night movie live stream. I think it's about the 3rd time I've been on the stream now, and Pete invited me on a few weeks back, and I've enjoyed it the past 2 times, and 3rd time on, absolutely enjoyed it again. It had a great time with Pete, Mike, with Andy, and with Matt as well. All great guys, all just really friendly, super welcoming guys as well. I said this to the guys, I think I said it afterwards and on air as well, but honestly, super welcoming, and everyone in the live chat as well was really nice, really kind, and just everyone just wanted to chat about movies, and that's what I just really like that. everyone just wanted to chat about movies. There was, you know, that's what you want, and that's what I like here. Just that everyone just wants to talk about movies. Nothing more than that. It's just fun and talk about our passions that we enjoy. And yeah, I had a great stream. It was like I think it was over 4 hours. I remember it was coming to midnight. Thankfully though, I'll be honest with you, this time around, I had the last few times I've done like live streams on a few different ones, a few different channels now. Um, I've been sitting on this like little chair that I sit on now. I'm sitting on a poofy right now, and behind the scenes look here. But yeah, I'm sitting on a poofy right now here. This is I used my like black chair, like the chair what I use at my desk, and I took it up to my bedroom because there's a better internet connection there for live streaming. It's the best place. But honestly, just using a proper chair, I used a different mic instead of this mic, so I could sort of like set up so I could sit on a nice comfy chair. Because honestly, the past couple of times I've done like these live streams, anything over an hour sitting on this poofy, my back just aches. I just get backache. I'm just like hunched over, and it's not great. So it was nice having a comfy chair for 4 hours, and I had 2 bananas on the floor. I didn't touch the bananas, but I had like a stash of drinks. I had like a Diet Coke, and it was a non-caffeine Coke as well. It would have done nothing for me, but I just had that to refresh because it was so warm, and I had a bottle of water as well. But honestly, yeah, great chat. And like I said, Pete, Mike, Andy, and Matt, all the guys on the show were all super amazing and super knowledgeable of movies. I am going to link in some of the guys are on YouTube, some of them are on Instagram. I'm going to link in every one of those channels below. Check them all out, subscribe to them on whatever social media they're on, and check out their content because they're all nice, kind guys. They all talk about movies, just like here on the Movie Cheer Pod. And yeah, it was a fun show. Check out that show if you've not checked it out as well. Pete PlaytendoGuy is a really, in this like sort of like YouTube movie community within like the UK branch of the movie community. He is, I mean, he's like the ultimate host, the ultimate live streaming host, Pete. Honestly, really super nice guy, and honestly a really good host as well. He does excellent on them streams. He does them every single Wednesday, and never misses a beat. And different guests every week, along with Mike and Andy, who is regular co-hosts. And they're all, Mike and Andy as well, they're both excellent. And I met Matt for the first time this week, a really nice guy as well. But yeah, I'm going to link in all of those below. And last bit of not so worthy Blockbuster housekeeping for this week. I will say I featured on a video that was filmed in around, I think it was like February or March earlier on this year, with Ryan from Let's Get Kicking Movies. And we did a Terminator review. And it's about, I think it's over an hour, the video, where we discussed Terminator, and yeah, it was a really fun. I remember I couldn't actually remember that we recorded for that long. I thought it was only like half an hour, but it was over an hour. But he's a really nice guy, Ryan. He's got a great channel, again discussing movies. He does live streams as well, and yeah, his editing is amazing. I honestly watch this video. He is such a brilliant editor, and I mentioned this to Ryan. He's really he's got a real good skill for editing video, and he again is a really good host as well. And he was really very welcoming and just easy to chat to, like the guys on Pete's channel. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. So I'm going to link in that video to Ryan's channel as well. Subscribe to his channel as well. Really excellent channel. But anyway, that is it for Not So Worthy Blockbuster housekeeping for today's episode. Let's move on to the headline topic. So today's headline topic, Marvel MCU Phase 5, is it going to be the best Marvel era yet? They announced this past week the lineup for Phase 5, the full lineup for Phase 5 at the San Diego Comic-Con, and they announced a few of the announcements of Phase 6. But today on the show, we're going to be focusing on Phase 5, and I'm going to pick out 4 of my favourite announcements for Phase 5, and this is TV shows and movies, a bit of both really, because I think there was some really notable announcements for Phase 5 of the MCU, and honestly, I'm going to answer at the end whether I do think it's going to be the best era, but let's deep dive into it. Let's go with the first choice of Phase 5 for me, and I'm going to start off with a TV show, and the TV show is Daredevil Born Again. That is right, Daredevil Born Again. It will be kind of like, it's like, they've not really announced whether this is going to be a reboot of it, but it's, Netflix had the rights to Daredevil. They produced 3 seasons, and then the rights went back to Disney. They cancelled the show. And now they've announced in 2024, early 2024, they're going to do an 18-episode series of Daredevil. It's going to be called Daredevil Born Again. I can imagine it's probably going to be kind of like a bit of a reboot, but also like kind of like a season 4, because it's got Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio returning. Obviously, Charlie Cox played Matt Murdock, Daredevil, and Vincent D'Onofrio played Kingpin, the villain in that. And hopefully we get a lot of the other, obviously, supporting members of the cast returning as well, because that was a real solid cast. I'll be honest, I really enjoyed the Daredevil show. I enjoyed a lot of them. The only ones, I watched all the Netflix shows, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. I think I maybe didn't watch like the second seasons of maybe like Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones. I was more into Daredevil, but I liked the Defenders show as well. That was really good. I thought they were really well made shows, and I was really disappointed when Daredevil got cancelled, because it was kind of left on like a bit of like a cliffhanger, really. And yeah, I was really good about that. But what are we expecting here? It's going to be interesting because this was like very much like an R-rated show on Netflix. Very very edgy, very adult. Adult level content, I would say. Are they going to tone it down for Disney Plus, this show? Or are we going to get, the Daredevil show from Netflix? I personally say, I said this on the stream the other night to the on Pete PlaytendoGuy's stream, that the reference to Born Again, Daredevil Born Again, it's a graphic novel or comic book run. I think it was Frank Miller who did that run. And I've got the graphic novel upstairs, and that graphic novel, if they take any of the influence from that, it is a very edgy comic, and there's a lot of like references, like drug references, and a lot of like adult content within that comic, and it's not very a family-friendly comic, I would say. Maybe they're just taking the name, so they could just be taking the name, really, but that's a really dark comic book, really, that one. So it'd be interesting. I'm more inclined to say that they will take they'll take advantage of the fight choreography, because the fight choreography in Daredevil was always phenomenal. I think we'll probably see a lot of that. I think we might see it more toned down, though. I know you've got like the new Deadpool movie coming under the Disney banner, and that's maybe going to go to Hulu or Disney Plus, and they've not really announced whether. I don't think they've announced whether that's going to be R-rated yet, but I imagine that probably is going to be R-rated. But with this, it's going to be a big 18-episode season. I think it's going to be more toned down. I don't think it's going to be as edgy as the original show. That's just a hunch. I mean, it may turn out to be really very much the same as what we got with Netflix, but who knows? But 18 episodes, that is crazy. That is a crazy amount of episodes. I think like the likes of like the Falcon and Winter Soldier and the Loki shows and all the previous ones, I think they've been like 6 to 8 episodes. 18 episodes. Watch, they're probably like 10-minute episodes or something like that. But imagine if they're like 40-minute episodes, 18 episodes. That would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. Maybe they're doing it kind of like, maybe they're thinking this is a character that has been, not been used for years, and we feel like we need to give it 18 episodes to really like reflesh out these characters and really reboot them, and they need that 18 episode run. But it seems like if they are like 40-minute runs, the episodes, that could just be 2 seasons, really, couldn't it? That's a flyer. That's a surreal amount of episodes. But I'm really excited to hear more about this, because we know obviously the 2 main cast announcements so far, but we don't know any more than that. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it was for me, that was a big fan moment, and to hear that show returning was great, and to hear that Charlie Cox is returning as well, because I think he was made for that role. He's superb in that show. If you've not checked it out, check out the Daredevil shows. They are now all available on Disney Plus, so you can check it out, and the rest of them Defenders shows, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, all fantastic shows. But yeah, early 2024, that'll come round in no time. We're nearly at the end of 2022, so 2024, it will that'll be here before we know it, and I'm sure sometime next year we'll be seeing some trailers for Daredevil. I can't even say it. Daredevil Born Again. I don't even know what I was saying there. Let's move on to the next property from Marvel Phase 5. So the next Phase 5 project I want to discuss is a movie, and the movie is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. What a title, first of all. Superb title for a movie. It reminds me of Hulkamania every time. Every time I say it, I just see the Hulkamania text. But yeah, this movie is the third movie in the Ant-Man franchise, the Ant-Man and the Wasp franchise. It is going to be the first movie of Phase 5, the first property of Phase 5 as well. So you would expect this is going to be a movie that kind of like lays the foundations for what we see ahead for the rest of Phase 5. Obviously, a lot of the returning cast from the previous movie, Paul Rudd in the central role as Ant-Man, Scott Lang. We're also seeing Jonathan Majors return. He was in the Loki TV show, and he will be returning well, I say returning because he didn't really play this role in that show, but he will be playing Kang the Conqueror. It's kind of speculated that he will be the next big villain. It's not set in stone. I suppose you could get a Doctor Doom coming in there and taking over. But I think for this phase, for Phase 5 and 6, he probably is going to be the main villain. Just the way it looks at this moment in time anyway, the landscape of things. But hopefully we see like the actual full look of Kang the Conqueror, the comic book like look in this movie. It's going to be great. I really liked Jonathan Majors in the Loki TV show. I thought he was really, really good. That was the first bit of a movie or TV shows I've ever seen an actor in. But he looks like a very talented actor, and I think he's going to be great in that role as Kang the Conqueror. But yeah, I like this movie. The premise, by the sounds of it, this movie, they're going to be exploring the quantum realm. Now, we've seen this in Ant-Man 2 a bit, and with the Avengers movies where they mention the quantum realm and they use it for the time travel. So they're going to go on like some sort of exploration mission of the quantum realm, and maybe we'll get like a Yellow Jacket, Corey Stroll returning as Yellow Jacket in this movie. I hope we see something like that because I really liked him as a villain in the first Ant-Man movie. It's going to be interesting to see, just going into what I liked about the first Ant-Man movie. I watched this recently for the World Movie League. It's just such a different movie from the rest of the MCU stuff, and just this idea of going into this miniaturized realm called the quantum realm, where they just shrink down so small that they go into like super miniature molecules, and then they're in this new universe called the quantum realm. And then there's like there could be monsters there, or there could be like hidden civilizations there. That just sounds exciting to me as a fan of movies. It just sounds really cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I like the humor in the Ant-Man movies. I think they're fun to watch. They're entertaining, and yeah, I think they're just a bit of a break from the action from like a Thor or a Captain America movie. The really fun movies to watch, and I'm really looking forward to this. So that comes out on February 17th, 2023. I think it's going to be I think it's a great idea to start off with this movie for Phase 5. But what will happen in the end? Will we see a death of Ant-Man? I don't think we'll see Ant-Man die. I think it would be a shame to kill off Paul Rudd's character as Scott Lang, because I think he is a really great character, and I think Paul Rudd is excellent as well. But yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania is my second pick for some of the best stuff coming from Phase 5 for the MCU. Now let's move on to my third favourite choice for Phase 5 today. And my third choice is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This movie is coming out in May 5th, 2023. It will see James Gunn returning to the director's chair. The whole main cast from the first two movies are returning as well. The plot summary of this movie is basically we see the original Gamora is now no longer with us, and they're searching for this alternative variant from a different timeline Gamora. and it's the search for Gamora, basically. But then you've got Adam Warlock in here as well. Who knows who else we're going to see in this movie? It's going to be an interesting one. But I really like the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies. They were really fun. The first one I preferred more so. I think the first one was my favourite. But the second one was okay. It was a decent enough movie. But I think this is going to be a bit of a sign-off for a lot of these characters. I think like Dave Bautista, who plays Drax, has kind of mentioned a few times that he wants to step away from that role now. And I can see maybe like Star-Lord continuing maybe, but I reckon a lot of the cast members here will probably leave after this movie. I could maybe see like Groot like leaving maybe, and they kill off him, kill off Drax maybe in this film. That's the way I see it going. Maybe we have in the Guardians of the Galaxy 4 a whole new bunch of characters like Nova, maybe some characters like that coming there. But I'm looking forward to this one. What is really interesting about this, and I think kind of like, I was thinking about this the other day, it's one of these things where I forgot about James Gunn. So James Gunn, the director of this movie, remember we had all this debacle like a year or two ago where he got sacked, he got fired from the movie because of like comments made years back, and then obviously he then goes on to direct The Suicide Squad, which was a really good movie. He gets rehired by Marvel before they announce a new director in the chair. They do like the big grand apology. He apologizes and all this properly, and he returns to the director's chair for this movie. But I just think we're so lucky to have. I think you got to forget like past comments like that on the internet. I don't buy into this whole cancel culture business. It's just not for me. I think. What's in the past, leave it there if it's on, especially with social media and stuff like that. Everyone says stupid stuff in the past. And I think it's just nice that he is returning to direct this third movie because it's his baby. It's him who really brought these characters to life because this was such an unknown comic to a lot of people. And obviously the tone of the comic is very different to what the tone of what James Gunn offers on screen in the movie version of Guardians of the Galaxy. His comedy, it's got his fingerprints all over, and it's superb. The soundtrack, adding the soundtrack and the tape recorder, just all little elements that are all, James Gunn's little bits of gold. And I'm so happy that he's returning, not someone else. I think the only person who could probably have done this movie could have been like Taika Waititi, just going off previous Marvel movies. But yeah, I'm so glad that he is returning to that show, the director's show, and I'm looking forward to seeing if it is a send-off. If it is a send-off for these characters, I don't mind. I honestly don't mind if they kill off characters. Avengers Endgame, I'm not even going to say the characters who died in that, but when them deaths happen, it doesn't bother me. But I think as long as they make it a memorable death, and if they actually keep it there sometimes. I know you can bring back characters and stuff like that, but I do think sometimes it's worthwhile just keeping a character dead, and if you give them a really special send-off, especially like Yondu in the second one, I think keep it like that. I think if you keep on bringing characters back into the fray all the time, it ruins the story, and I'm looking forward to it, and if they do send off the likes of Drax, Rocket, or Groot, or any of the Guardians, as long as it's memorable, I don't mind. As long as we get an awesome film, an awesome finale to this really good trilogy of space movies, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out. So that is May 5th, 2023, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, let's move on to my fourth and final choice of Phase 5 movies, TV shows. It is a movie, and this is one I am really, really intrigued to see. The movie is Blade, starring Mahershala Ali, and it will be coming out in November 3rd, 2023. The Blade movie was announced a couple of years back now. I think it was at one of the Comic Cons, and obviously they announced that I hope I'm not butchering his name, Mahershala Ali. I think that's how you pronounce it. He is going to be taking over the role of Blade for this movie. It's going to be a reboot, a new Blade movie, new Blade franchise. Blade is obviously he's half human, half vampire. He's like a daywalker. That's what he is, a daywalker. and we're going to see like the vampire side of the MCU. I know we had Morbius, and I'll be honest, yeah, I didn't mind Morbius. It wasn't that bad. But I think to see Blade is a more, and more iconic property. Everyone knows Blade. Wesley Snipes made them movies famous back in the 90s, the early 2000s. Then the first movie is fantastic, the first Blade movie. And I'm just looking forward to seeing what the MCU's version of Blade looks like. And kind of similar to, Daredevil Born Again, will we get an R-rated Blade, or will we get a very more like a toned down version? And I think they are capable of doing it. I think they're capable of doing vampires. I think you look at the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. There was definitely some content in there that was kind of like stretch the boundaries of like, is this family friendly? Is this okay to show kids? But they got away with a certain age rating. But it depends how gruesome it is. I think if they want to show blood and stuff on screen, they're gonna have to go for that R rating. I think it will all depend on who the director is. I think if you get a director who's been doing like horror movies, I think it's more likely going to be an R rating. But I think if they get a director who's maybe known for doing more like Marvel like movies, more movies that are kind of more for families, I think that's where we're going to get that family rating for this movie. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. The main guy, Mahershala Ali, he was in the Luke Cage TV show, and he was one of the villains in the first season. And what is really cool now is it's cool and it's also weird, and it's like obviously they're bringing over these Netflix shows now. Maybe if we see a reboot of the Luke Cage show as well with the main guy from that show, I think it was Mike Coulter. If we see that one rebooted, that show rebooted as well, this is a guy who has appeared in 2 roles within the MCU, and I know it probably has happened before. I think Gemma Chan's character in Eternals, she was in Captain Marvel, so she was recast in a different role as well. So it does happen, and I don't think it's gonna like ruin any screen time, or like you're not gonna be watching the movie and being like, that guy was in Luke Cage. I don't think you will anyway, but it's just gonna be interesting. I mean, you could have that crossover where Luke Cage meets Blade, and Luke Cage is like, don't I know you? And he's like, no. And he's like, yeah, I killed you. And he's like, no, I'm Blade. I'm a daywalker. No one kills me. I've got a big sword. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the Blade movie. My hopes would be, I think I would like to see an R rating for this one, just to see vampires, to see blood, and not to see anything toned down. I think for this to really to see its full potential, go the way of like the Wolverine, the Logan movie, give us an R rating, make a movie that's more towards aimed towards adults. That's the movie I want to see in a Blade movie. But either way, I'm going to be checking it out because I'm really excited. I didn't know originally whether it was going to be a TV show or a movie, and because it just kind of like went silent for so long, discussion about this movie, and then we get the Phase 5 announcement at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con. I'm like, yes! And I'm even more excited by the fact that it's coming out next year. And I know dates can change. Sure, dates can change, but I'm excited to see Blade. So that's coming out November 3rd, 2023. And I just want to do a quick roundup of these 4 properties in Phase 5 as a whole. I think these 4 are all great. I think Blade and Daredevil are going to be my favourites for sure. But is this going to be the best era, the best phase of Marvel so far? I'll be honest with you, I think it is. I think Phase 1 was a pretty solid phase, but Phase 5 is looking to be, if these movies can deliver and these TV shows can deliver, I think Phase 5 will be an excellent phase. I know a lot of people are kind of like down on Phase 4. I don't think it was that bad. I think it was kind of like baby steps with a lot of the TV shows, and they were, laying the ground and trying new things. I mean, they were trying the TV shows for the first time. And some of them were, slow starters, and it was kind of something that had to find the feet. But now we've had plenty of TV shows. It's like now they know how to run things, and they know how to connect things up. Hopefully we'll see better properties coming out and better products of better content in this Phase 5. And I'm looking forward to it. I think they've really announced some solid properties here for Phase 5 and some exciting ones for us as fans of Marvel. I'm super excited, and I think it could be the best phase yet. I will say I think it will be. I think it's going to be, but maybe don't clip me on this. Don't clip this in like 5 years' time or 2 years' time. You'd be like, AP, Phase 5 was a dud, and you said it was going to be great, and yeah, you never know, do you? But I'm hoping it is, and I'm going to say yes, I think it is going to be the best Marvel era so far in the MCU. Now, anyway, let's move on with the rest of the show. It's time for the Movie Variant Showdown segment of the show. Are you ready? Movie Variant Showdown. Each and every week, I take a different representative of a movie property and put it against other representatives of that movie property. It could be a case cover, it could be a movie character, it could be a movie remake, whatever it may be. They get judged on Movie Variant Showdown. And this week's edition of Movie Variant Showdown, I will be looking at the Fantastic Beasts Secrets of the Secrets of Dumbledore case covers, the UK case covers, and I've actually got 5 different variants here. So 5 different variants of the case covers. We've got some steelbooks, we've got some 4K, the Blu-ray, and the DVD as well. So let's deep dive into this. So I'm going to start off with the Secrets of Dumbledore DVD cover. Let's just first of all, I'll say I've not watched this movie as of yet. I've still not seen this movie. It is one I'm meaning to check out. To be honest, I forgot about this movie. It's one. There's not been that many movies come out over the past couple of weeks. I have forgot about this movie. I need to check out this movie because I really like the first 2. But anyway, let's get to the DVD cover. So here it is. So the DVD cover, you've got all of the main characters. You've got Hogwarts in the background. And I really like this. I like looking onto the horizon at something here, kind of, and it's like, obviously it's like a dark looming threat, and is it going to be Grindelwald they're looking at maybe? But I really like this. I like this with the background of Hogwarts. I like the text. The text is quite large and quite bold. It stands out to me, and it's, significant. I think the Fantastic Beasts is very small though, but kind of it's like I suppose they just go for the Secrets of Dumbledore text here. But I like the colours here. They kind of got like a green sky in the background of the Hogwarts, and then you've got like that the is it like these what's his name? Dumbledore's Phoenix in the background, adding that orangey colours to it, and like the flame colours, which adds a nice blend to the green background. So I really like the DVD cover. Let's now move on to the Blu-ray of this. So the Blu-ray is very different. It's all very much close-up shots here. It kind of, again, you've got that green style background. There's no Hogwarts. Well, you see Hogwarts in a very small version at the bottom in an orange colour, and you've got the mix of that Phoenix in there, kind of doing like a swirl around it here. I like this, and you see, obviously, Jude Law's version of Dumbledore is very much like the central guy. His Secrets of Dumbledore, it's his movie. And you see all the other characters in there as well. Mads Mikkelsen's version of Grindelwald and Eddie Redmayne in there too. And yeah, I like this. I think the Blu-ray for me so far is probably my favourite out of the DVD and Blu-ray. So I'm going to say Blu-ray is so far my favourite out of the 2 we've seen. But I like this. I think the text is a bit smaller than the DVD, it looks like here. Same text though. And yeah, I like this. It's got all the characters on again. And I think it just looks a bit more interesting, this, with the swirls of the Phoenix in here. I like that. Now, let's move on to the 4K. The 4K, it's you've got the text in there, you've got a very much a simple shot of like the sort of like the river around Hogwarts, the sea, if you like, and then you've got the Phoenix in there again, adding the flame like colours to the mix. Not really a massive blend of colours here, really. Kind of, it's a very plain background for this particular colour. You don't see any of the main cast featured in this. It's a very minimalist cover. Now, I do normally like these minimalist covers. I do like them, but I think this is doesn't really, to me, if you take away the text, of Secrets of Dumbledore. You don't know. I wouldn't know this was a Harry Potter movie, a Harry Potter spin-off movie. It could be anything. It could be it could be, the flaming bird goes to the shed or goes to the haunted castle. It could be something like that. It doesn't look noticeable to me. It doesn't stand out to me personally. I think it's very plain, very generic, and it looks like they've not really put that much effort into this cover, I'll be honest with you. This case cover is not exciting, and I don't think, this is, third. Blu-ray is top so far, DVD, 4K is at the bottom of the list so far for me. Not impressed with this cover. I think it's a really, poor effort of a cover, to be honest with you. So now let's move on to one of the steelbooks. So the Fantastic Beast, The Secrets of Dumbledore 4K Ultra Steelbook, and this includes the Blu-ray as well. This is you can get this on, I think it's on HMV and Zavvi, this one. And this one is, it's got the steelbook. It's like a red steelbook, and it's got like the crest, some sort of crest there. I don't know if that's Gryffindor's crest. I'm not super knowledgeable of the crest. I don't know if that is if that is Gryffindor. Maybe I would imagine if it's Dumbledore, it's got to be Gryffindor surely, or maybe it's just something a unique crest made up for this movie. But I like this. I like the look of this. Again, no, I'll be honest with you, that you can see the text in there very visible. But to me, as nice as it is, it doesn't really tell me what the movie is, unless you know the movie and maybe this is a significant part of the movie. I've never seen this movie, and maybe this is a significant part of this look, but I'm seeing this and I wouldn't know again that this is the Secrets of Dumbledore cover. And as nice as it looks, and I'm sure it would look really cool in the movie room, it doesn't stand out to me, and I don't think it looks super special for a steelbook, personally. So it's nice. It's got a red. It looks like an old book, but yeah, it's I'm not fussed on this. I'll be honest. I'm not fussed on this red version of the 4K steelbook. So I made a bit of a mistake there. I actually thought there was 5 different covers. I thought there was a Zavvi exclusive, but I was actually looking at the Crimes of Grindelwald. It must have been an older case cover. So we've only got 4 case covers. We've got the HMV and Zavvi one, the steelbook, 4K steelbook. We've got the Blu-ray, we've got the DVD, and we've got the standard 4K. For me, my favourite one is the Blu-ray. I think it is just a great cover. I think you see all the characters in there. It looks magical. It looks something exciting, and it looks like a movie I would want to watch. So today on Movie Variant Showdown, the Blu-ray cover of Secrets of Dumbledore wins today. Now let's move on to the next segment of today's show, which is movies for the weekend. And today I've got 2 movie recommendations as always. I'm going to start off with The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and this is a movie I watched on TV the other week, and I've only seen the odd few of the Narnia movies, and I've never been quite a big fan of them, but I really like this movie. It's got the guy who's going to be playing Adam Warlock in the new Guardians of the movie. I think it's Will Poulter, is it? Will Poulter? I don't know how you pronounce his name, but it was a really fun movie, this, and yeah, I like this one, really good. And second recommendation today is Robin Williams in the movie Jack. Great movie, Robin Williams, you can't go wrong with Robin Williams. I like this movie. It's basically, Robin Williams plays a character who ages super quick, and basically he's a 40-year-old guy. Well, he's a kid. He's like an 11-year-old, but he looks like a 40-year-old guy in Robin Williams, and it's a really fun movie, and it's him interacting with kids and going to school for the first time. Really fun movie, Jack. And they are the movies for the weekend for this week. Let's move on with the rest of the show. The Amazon Top 10 is approaching. Prepare yourself. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Amazon Top 10 has arrived. So, the Amazon Top 10, each and every week I give you the Amazon Top 10 of UK sales for DVD, Blu-ray and 4K, the best sellers list on Amazon for physical media sales in movies. And let's look at the Amazon top 10 for this week. We're going to start off with number 10. And at number 10 is the DVD of Belfast. It's been in the top 10 for quite some time now. At number 9, it is the DVD of The Batman. Number 8, Encanto, the DVD of Encanto, the Disney movie. Again, another one that's been in for quite some time. A really good movie as well. Number 7, it is Operation Mincemeat, the DVD of that movie. At number 6, we have the Dr. No, James Bond Dr. No 60th Anniversary Special Edition with Steelbook Blu-ray. It's a region-free Blu-ray. We were discussing this on Pete's stream the other night. They're saying that they're not doing this as a 4K. It's only a Blu-ray, which seems a bit disappointing. But yeah, that's at number 6. At number 5, we have the movie Sing 2, the DVD. At number 4, it is a Lost City DVD. And at number 3, we have the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange 2, the Blu-ray of that movie. At number 2, we have the Blu-ray of Fantastic Beasts, Secrets of Dumbledore. And at number 1, it is, Downton Abbey, A New Era DVD. The Downton Abbey movie is number 1 in the Amazon top 10 for this week. That's surprising. That is surprising. But hey, people must like Downton Abbey. Anyway, let's move on with the final segment of today's show. And the final segment is What's Been on the Screen. What's Been on the Screen is where I discuss what I've been watching this past week. I want to talk about a movie called The 3:10 to Yuma. This is a Western movie. It's a remake of I think it was a 1950s movie, and it was like a short story as well. I've never seen the original, but it stars Russell Crowe and Christian Bale. And basically, Christian Bale's character is this rancher, and Russell Crowe plays like this outlaw, this criminal. And basically, the rancher, Christian Bale's character must escort Russell Crowe's outlaw character who's been arrested to this train, and then his gang are trying to track them down and got to get him to this train so he can go on trial. And it's just this cool Western in the middle of it. And the movie is directed by James Mangold, who directed the Logan and Wolverine movies, and he's doing the new Indiana Jones movie as well. And he's an excellent director. I was looking through all his movies he's directed, and he's had some really great movies. And this was one, I saw it on Netflix, and I was like, I've never heard of this movie. And I like a good Western. What I would say, this movie reminds me of like modern westerns like Tombstone. It's got that vibe to it. If you like Tombstone, I think this will be right up your street. That's another good modern western. Really good movie. I think Bale and Russell Crowe they blend together really well on screen, and the scenes together are really gripping scenes. And it's a really, having Russell Crowe's gang like trying to track them down, trying to stop them from getting on the train. It's a really great movie and a really solid Western, a 10 out of 10 movie. And for one, I love them discoveries of movies you've never heard of before. And they just come out of nowhere and you find just an excellent movie. And this is what I found with the 3:10 to Yuma. Well worth checking out, a top movie. And one I really enjoyed and I'd definitely watch again. 3:10 to Yuma, that is what I've been watching recently. I've also been watching over the past couple of weeks the Umbrella Academy TV show as well. And I watched all 3 seasons of the Umbrella Academy, and I gotta say, that is a really fun show. It's basically, they're all superpowered kids and in this show, and like individuals, and it's just, each show is different from one another. But what I like about the show, it's just a show that doesn't take itself too seriously. It's like they're doing dance numbers in the show and stuff like that. And I think the 3rd season was not the best. The 2nd season of the Umbrella Academy was definitely my favourite of the show. But it's I hope they get a season 4. I don't know whether they will on Netflix, because of like Netflix kind of losing loads of subscribers recently. But I really like that show, Umbrella Academy. Well worth checking out if you're into your superhero stuff. Umbrella Academy on Netflix. There's 3 seasons to check out. But anyway, that is the end of today's show. If you enjoyed today's show, please do give it a like and check out the rest of the movie-related content on the channel as well. And if you're listening to this on a podcast app of your choice, please do subscribe to the podcast app and leave a comment, a 5-star review. A 5-star review helps the channel to grow, the podcast to grow even further, and all 5-star reviews will get read out on the channel. If you're listening to this, watching this on YouTube, leave a comment in the comment section below as well. Let me know all your thoughts on today's show. It's been really good to come back to the show today. I really enjoyed it. I made a few mistakes with that movie variant Showdown section, so there will be a quick edit in there. But that was a bit... that was a mistake on my behalf. I made a mistake there, but mistakes happen. But yeah, a really fun show. But big question is today, what did you think of Marvel Phase 5 announcements at San Diego Comic-Con? Do you think Phase 5 is going to be the best Marvel era yet? Do you think it's going to be the best Marvel phase yet? Or do you think Phase 6 is going to be better? Let me know all your thoughts on today's topics, ladies and gents. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer. And as always, I will see you next time.